Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should look at moving your RRSP into a RRIF as soon as you can. Let's get into it. So first, just to make sure we're on the same page, in the year that you turn 71, you must sign the paperwork to convert an RRSP into a RRIF. Same goes for a LIRA into a LIF, but this video is about why you don't want to wait until the year you're 71 to actually sign that paperwork. The first reason we would want to look at doing an RSP to RRIF transfer early is tax control. I love taking advantage of opportunities to legally manipulate our tax system, and doing so with an RRSP meltdown is a great way to do so. For those of you that don't know what that is, all that is essentially you're taking extra money from your RRSP in years that you don't need it, and you're moving that money into a TFSA or a non-registered investment. Essentially, you're taking known low tax rate withdrawals, putting it into those types of accounts to avoid future larger tax rates. Reason number 2 is also about tax control, but in this case, it's about the splitability between a couple, if you are in a couple, of the withdrawal. For whatever reason, RRSP withdrawals are not splittable, but RRIF withdrawals are after the age of 65. And from those years of 65 through to 71, why would you not take a withdrawal from a RRIF instead of an RRSP if it brings you the option of splitting that income between 2 people? Even if you don't use that option, it's great to have access to that option by using a RRIF in the meantime. Finally, number 3 is about sequence of returns. I've had a lot of people recently talk to me about sequence of return risk. And if you don't know what that means, essentially it's if you have 2 portfolios, A and B, and both have the same 10-year average, they may look the same on the surface. But if you're retired and option A had a rough first 5 years followed by a great last 5 years, because you're withdrawing, you're compounding the bad in those first 5 years, and you'll have a worse outcome than B if it had the reverse, where it had 5 great years followed by 5 rough years. So by mitigating some of that risk, we can move some of your RRSP into a RRIF to offset that risk. This is also known as a cash wedge, where we're putting a certain amount in the RRIF that will allow you to pull from a low or no risk asset and let the remaining amount stay invested. So practically what this looks like is a RRIF that's open and has nothing in it. And then when you are ready to start pulling withdrawals, you take 3, 6, maybe 12 months worth of your spending out of the RSP, put it into the RRIF, and you start to bleed that down. It actually hits kind of on all 3 of the different reasons. You're reducing your sequence of return risk by putting some of it in a really safe environment. You're allowing it to be splittable because it's in the RRIF, and if you're taking extra, it factors into the meltdown strategy. And I want to be clear about something that I didn't mention earlier. I'm not necessarily telling you or recommending that you move all of your RSPs into RRIF, simply that you create it and you use it in the strategic manner to hit all 3 points of why I think it's so important to look at moving RSP to RRIF before 71. If it's time for me to look at your RSP withdrawal strategy, there'll be a link in the description down below that comes directly to me. Till next time, keep planning.